Every spring, the Independence Party hosts a series of receptions across our boroughs that culminates in today's event. We mark a special moment in the political season. It's the calm before the storm. It's a celebration before we hit the streets and the phones in our citywide ballot access drive. So I'm so glad to have a chance to lift a glass together and toast the fact that the New York City Independence Party has the most committed, most energized, on-the-ground grassroots organizing movement in our city. We're famous for that. And I toast all of you for that. So, without further ado, let me bring to the stage someone well known to us all. She was our host in Harlem on Thursday night as hundreds rallied for true independence. She's a founder of the Independence Party. Please welcome Dr. Lenora Fulani.
So welcome to all of you. Welcome to our mayor. I grew up most of my early life in the projects of Chester, Pennsylvania. I always knew I wasn't a liberal, but I also knew I was supposed to be a liberal. Then I went to college at Hofstra University, and people told me that I should be a black nationalist. But I knew I wasn't a black nationalist, so I got my degree and I moved on. Then I met Fred Newman. He said, Lenora, you're not a liberal, you're not a nationalist, you're a progressive pragmatist. Now you have to remember that Fred's a philosopher. And he said, what that really means is that you're an independent. And I've been an independent ever since. So now that I've recognized that I'm a progressive pragmatist and an independent myself, I can see it in others. In my view, Mike Bloomberg is a progressive pragmatist, like our president, Barack Obama. And he is an independent like all of us. And that's why I support him and will work very hard for his reelection. For the next 6 weeks, many of you are going to be knocking on doors, making phone calls, gathering petition signatures, and getting the word out. Whatever your background might be, whatever you thought you were supposed to be but weren't, whatever your journey has been, you've wound up in the right place with the independent movement and an independent mayor in the greatest independent city in the world. So, after all these years, I finally learned what it means to be an independent. What it means is all power to the people. And what I used to say when I was still a little bit of a nationalist and a little bit of a liberal was, let's kick some for Mike Bloomberg.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. She's the president of the Committee for a Unified Independent Party. She managed Mayor Bloomberg's campaigns on the Independence Party line in both 2001 and 2005. By the way, if you have not yet seen Jackie's new documentary film, How the Independent Movement Went Left by Going Right, be sure to get a copy today. It's dynamite. It explores the emerging coalition of black and independent voters that elected the country's two most independent leaders, Mayor Michael Bloomberg and President Barack Obama. So it's definitely worth a look. Please put your hands together and welcome Jackie Salet.
What I thought I would do is try to share with all of you and with them that I do think there actually is a very big and important story going on in this mayoral race, and let me tell you what I think it is. Political parties have been an integral part of the American system since the very beginning, even though they're not mentioned in the Constitution, even though George Washington warned against them in his farewell address. Political parties are very, very powerful and very, very pervasive. And the American people have, by and large, been pretty accepting of that. Except that that has started to change now, and I think there is a mood in the country and a sense that partisanship and political parties actually hold back progress, and that they reinforce old ways of looking at issues and old approaches to problems and old paradigms. And the American people are looking for something new and different. I think that is why we elected Barack Obama to be President of the United States, and as is often the case, and we can be very proud of this, people of New York City are often in the lead. And I think the fact that we have elected Mike Bloomberg to be mayor twice is an indication of that, of so many people from so many different walks of life saying we've got to get beyond these old paradigms to something new. I think that's what this race is about this year. I think that's what the 2009 mayoral race is about, and I think that's a very, very big story. Call me crazy. I think it's a story of historic proportions. The Independence Party is no ordinary party, and that's because we don't believe in parties. And Mayor Bloomberg is no ordinary mayor. He doesn't govern according to the special interests. He governs according to what is best for the people of the city. And that's what it means to be an independent. So join me in welcoming the independent mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg.
That Lenore and Kathy both lumped me in with the President of the United States, so my mother will be pleased about that. Whether Barack Obama's pleased, I have no idea, but I probably is not going to hear about it anyway, so that's okay. Anyways, Jackie, thank you so much, and good afternoon to everyone. It is great to be here to kick off the official start of campaign season. For those that don't know, that means getting your name on the ballot. Petitioning to get on the ballot really is democracy in action. I don't think most people ever stop to think about how do you get on the ballot. Well, the answer is you go out and you get signatures. And you have people who are registered voters in a given party or whatever, and they say, I would like this person to be on the ballot. And if you get enough signatures, you can get on the ballot. Then, unfortunately, because we don't have nonpartisan elections, there is generally a primary system where a very small number of people pick those that the public can get a chance to really vote for. And I've always thought that it would be a much better system if we had nonpartisan elections and everybody could do it. Anyways, the system is what it is, and you have to work with it if you want to try to affect change. Getting petitions is hard work, and I appreciate it. It is done by individuals calling people and saying, would you like to have the mayor on, in this case, or whomever, on the ballot? And if so, can I come by and have you sign a petition? Some of the parties have so many members, they just sit on the street corner, and everybody that comes by, they get them to sign, and some of them are registered voters, some aren't, but if you get enough signatures, the theory is there'll be enough legitimate votes in there. The Independence Party actually goes and gets people who are registered in the Independence Party, and it's, thank you. Now, asking somebody to sign something is nice, but it is not done without generally you having to answer some questions and finding out what people think. Sometimes you find out more than what you care to know, but that's what democracy is all about. And what you get a chance in this case is to talk to them about what it really means to be an independent and to focus on what's right for this city. And they'll say, well, I agree with the mayor on some things and don't agree with the mayor on others. And I think the real thing I would like you to say is, look, the mayor is hardworking and honest and is trying to do what he thinks is right, not looking at special interests. And sometimes you'll agree and sometimes you won't. If you can get us on the ballot and stay with us through November 3rd, I do believe that your hard work is going to help elect the this will be, because if you think about how I was before, this is going to be the city's first ever elected independent mayor. Thank you, everybody.